Hey guys, so I decided I wanted to do a YouTube video because apparently I've been avoiding it. I guess, apparently. Um, so we're going to go into a couple things. I'm going to try to keep it condensed because I can just wander off at any moment. I got done with my therapy, so I was in therapy for, I'm thinking, um, 6 months. And it went from weekly to there was 1 week where I had to go twice a week at one point. And now, then we got down to once every other week. And finally, the end of October, I'm down to 0. I was supposed to meet with her, was it last week? And we were supposed to meet on Wednesday. We usually met on Thursdays. So completely blanked out. It was Thursday and I'm getting ready to call her and I go to look at it and I'm like, it got canceled. Why did it get canceled? And then I found out I'm an idiot. And I should have known better and I should have looked. But c'est la vie. As it turns out, most of the things that I needed to learn, I've learned. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of the parting wisdom that I got out of therapy. Number one, when people tell you they're not your person, you thank them. You don't ask them to stay. You let them go, and you're like, okay. And when they come back, you remember that they walked away. They showed you they weren't your person. I have somebody like that right now in my life. I'm not shooing him away. I'm just waiting to find out what he's up to. His name is Josh. He doesn't watch this, so I know I'm safe. And he's in the Air Force, and he is currently serving in the United States. And I looked it up. For $250, I can get a round-trip ticket to visit him. And I sat there thinking about this information, going, I wanted to see. It has nothing to do with me actually going through with it, because I'm not going to. He was the guy. You may or may not remember this story. We started talking, and we talked really hot and heavy for about 2 weeks. And then I was like, so are we ever going to meet? And he's like, for what? I said, well, we've been talking online and being all googly and whatnot. Are we going to actually meet? And he says, I'm not looking for a relationship, and I know you are. I'm like, oh. So I'm like, well, for my own benefit and to make sure I don't get hurt in this, we're gonna stop talking. So we stopped talking. And out of the blue, he reached out to me and said, I'm gonna be in Indianapolis and I'm gonna drive right past you. Do you mind if I stop in? I said, that'd be great. And I waited hours. And I was like, what the fuck? So I get a hold of him. I'm like, what's going on? He says, I am so sorry. I'm in Cincinnati. And I'm like, you were going to go to Louisville and down. Yeah, my sister came with me and we're going to Cincinnati instead. And I said, did you think you should tell me that you weren't going to show up? And he says, well, it was always a maybe. And I'm like, I sat here and waited for you. So you're a dick. And basically we kind of had it out. The long and the short of it though is, we stopped talking. I blocked him on everything I could find him on. And then, come to find out, he had a secret account hidden somewhere and was basically just following along with me on Instagram or Twitter, one of the two. And I'm like, what? And he was really sweet and cute when I finally was like, hey, I'm really sorry. This had nothing to do with you. This was all about me. And he says, I know. I'm like, okay, well, that's sweet. Thank you. And he's like, no. He says, I've been following you. I'm making sure you're all right. And I'm like, what? So now he's reaching out to me again. And I'm just like, what do you want? There's nothing that I have to offer you. You're in your 20s, probably 26, maybe 27. And I'm 55. It is going to go nowhere. So when somebody shows or tells you they're not your person, you say thank you. So I say thank you. Am I still listening to him? Yes. Why? Oh, who the fuck knows? Seriously, I don't know. What are the other things I've learned? Did you know that most of the people around you actually want to hear what you have to say? And once you get in the right audience, all the fear goes away. I had I had a 2.5, it was supposed to be 3 day, but a 2.5 day work session in one of my plants, one of the plants at the company I'm working at. And it was led by me. And I got up in front of people and I said, this is how I want to do this. We're gonna walk through what this is. We're going to go walk the process. We're gonna ask questions and look at things. And then we're gonna come back and we're going to, and I laid it out and we did it. And it was a lot of fun. And everybody at the end, I'm like, so how do you guys feel about this? And they're like, I thought this was going to be really hard. And I said, it was hard. They said, yeah, but you did most of the heavy lifting. And we got to talk and come up with ways that we could screw things up and look at things at different angles. And you sat there and went, oh, okay. How realistic is that? And we said, this one is, that one isn't. Okay. And it was fairly decent. I mean, we had good conversations. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the company based off of the whining. I shouldn't say whining. The complaining about the stuff that isn't quite right. But it's still a good company. I've been pushing for them to get better. And they're appreciative of that. So I was going somewhere with this. Oh, people actually want to hear what you have to say. And when you're in the right environment, I just let loose. Like I did today, it was supposed to be an hour-long meeting, but it was only 35 minutes because the work that I had asked to get done wasn't done. I said, so do you have the list of the specifications and standards? And the guy that should have brought them said, yes, they're right here. And I said, okay. He says, let's do one just to see how it goes. I said, okay. I said, so what is the standard? And we put it in there. And I said, so what does it do? And he says, oh, there's a whole bunch of tests. And I'm like, what are they? What are the various things in the standard that we need to make sure are done? Well, I don't have that information. I said, I need all of that. I need to know what it is because we need to look at it line by line and go, how can we mess this up? How can we mess this up? How can we mess this up? That's part of the design part of this, the design FEMA. And he's like, oh. I said, this is going to get really complicated. But in the end, we're going to be able to take this and go plop and have everything. I haven't told them yet, but once we get done with this, we'll have the DVP&R for these parts. And I can say, okay, guys, this is your testing. And they'll be like, what? This is your testing. This is the list of tests you have to do. Here's your control plan. Thank you. You're welcome. Pretty much, right? So really excited about that. It's good. These are the things I learned. I have learned that if you just walk into situations with zero expectations, you're going to get your mind blown when stuff happens. Oh my God. This weekend, I'm like, Two of the guys I talked to the weekend before, one of them said he might be there. The other one was like, I don't think I'm going to be there. And I'm like, okay, cool. I said, what's going to happen tonight? I'm like, I'm going to go in late. I want to go in late. I didn't get in late. I don't know what's wrong with me. So I went to the bar. I went to AWOL. If you're ever in Columbus, Ohio, AWOL, you want to go there. It is bar none the best bar in the state, the whole freaking state. But it is one of the best bars I've been to. So, and if you go there and you see me, say hi, because I'm always there. If it's Saturday night, like this weekend's going to be Friday night, maybe Saturday night. Saturday night is harness night. I love harness night. Friday night is pup night. It's not called that either. It's called, oh crap. Anyway, it's called something else. But it's where the pups come out. and I have friends in the pup community. So I'm going to be, so I can like stare at one of them because he's hot as fuck. And sorry. And I have a couple other people that I talk to that are in the pup community, and they're all cool. It's not surprising. It's intriguing. So, but this past weekend, no expectations. I wound up getting into some trouble. Yes, I got in trouble. I met these two guys. They were a couple, and wound up making out with both of them. The two guys from the weekend before. This is what's happened to my life. The first guy who, oh my God, he was cute, and he started flirting with me, and is married and in an open relationship, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not messing with that. Then I saw, okay, there's a long story, but I'm going to try to keep it brief. I saw this guy all the time. And so I tried to say hello to him, and he told me he couldn't talk to me because his really hot boyfriend was going to be there at any minute. He winds up being a douche. But the really hot boyfriend is really hot. So we're standing there. The 3 weekends ago, I'm standing there and I see the really hot boyfriend by himself, and I'm like, okay. So I walk up and I introduce myself. And I said, I just wanted to introduce myself because I see you all the time. I know your boyfriend. He's kind of goofy, but he is. And I shook his hand, and we started talking, and I said, well, I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't want to be a nuisance. I just wanted to say hi. And I walked away. And I felt really good about that. So last weekend, not this past one, the one before that, I saw him while I was with the married guy. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? He comes over and he goes, hey, how are you? I said, good. I don't know if you remember, I introduced myself to you last weekend. He goes, oh, no, I do. Right over there. That's where we met. I'm like, oh, yes, that is where we met, right over there in that corner. And he goes, yeah. And then we made out. And I'm like, I have a pretty good grasp of that night. I know, sometimes I don't. But that night I did. And I'm like, I don't remember us making out. I said, why? Was that an option? And he goes, yes. For you? Yes. And I'm like, is it still an option? I wound up making out with him. And a little handsiness, but it was mostly legal. I did get talked to. One of my bartenders is like, AJ, if you're going to do that, go away from the bar. I'm like, I ain't doing anything. He says, yeah, no. Don't, what's the words? Don't question my intelligence or something like that. Oh yeah, don't question my intelligence. I can see what you're doing. Go away. So we moved somewhere else. And I was with these two guys, both of who were in relationships, going, I don't get it. So this past weekend, I made out with a couple. And I just sat there like, what do I think of this? Well, what do I think of this is, I really want a boyfriend. I want my boyfriend. I don't have to be a saint to get to where I want to go. There's no rules. Apparently, there's no rules. And that's another thing to learn. There are no rules. None. Even the ones that I've formulated based off of how I watch people interact, they don't always work. They don't. So I was wearing my red, not Skechers, my red Vans. And I met somebody, and I was talking about, my red shoe thing. And he starts laughing. He says, your shoes are what I notice first. So I said, what would happen if I do whatever the fuck I want? And I went and bought some really cool cowboy boots. They're like the squared toe cowboy boots, because I think guys wearing cowboy boots are fucking sexy. And so here I walk in, I'm wearing cowboy boots. I have my jeans over top of them because otherwise you look like trash. And I'm wearing my olive drab t-shirt, and a big backwards baseball cap. And I got hit on right and left. And I just sat there like, what in the hell? I'm good. I don't need to know any of the answers to these questions. But no expectations. No expectations. Stop dressing like what you think people want you to. Just go as comfortably as you want. Because guess what? When you're as comfortable as you want to be, you project the right energy. And what's funny is if I go back in time and watch my YouTube videos, I've gone back in time as far as, zipping through my Instagram. And it's like, who the fuck was that guy? I'm a different person. I've come to the conclusion and the grips of who I am. And a lot of people like me just as is. And I don't have to impress them. I put on 10 pounds. I'm not happy with the 10 pounds. It's all right here. And I'm going to get rid of it. I'm working on it. It is two things wrapped together. One, there's too much food floating around at work. And not enough me running around and doing things. And two, I got off the wagon. I'm on the wagon again. Okay, so it'll be for one night. It's Wednesday. Friday is coming up, and I'm meeting up with all my friends in the pup community here in Columbus on Friday, and then probably going out Saturday, and I'm going to be a miserable blank on Sunday because I won't get enough sleep. I'm going to try to take a nap Saturday, and I am going to try to take a nap on Sunday. My problem is I don't like to nap on Sunday because that messes up with my sleep schedule. So, sorry this was a long one, but hey, you know what? You get what you pay for. And unfortunately, for everyone on the planet, this is free, so I'm paying. Apparently. I've also stopped saying I love you, dude, at the end. So, I love you guys. I have decided that love you, dude, at the end is me trying to get the universe to do its freaking job and find me somebody to date. And I realized that the universe is at this point just sitting there cackling, saying, oh, let him say it again. It's so cute. Anyway, I love you guys.